Hello everyone and welcome back to the Star Citizen Hangar module. I said I would do a new video when there was new stuff to show, and there's new stuff to show, so I did. Something I do have to bring up, there is a noticeable frame drop, and I think that's because I may have added a few things to my hangar, and of course we don't have any more complex settings in the graphics options. So as you notice, I'm currently running on high quality. Once again, this is unoptimized code, so and we do have a few more things in the hangar that I wanted to show off. And I will be speaking about the new store that they added. And of course, I had to pick up the poster with Eric Wingman Peterson because, yeah, the Wingman is awesome and he wants you to join the UE Navy. So first thing you might notice is that there's a new thing back there and there's a new thing over here. Now this is the Buggy. You can currently get this for 20,000 UEC credits, or Imperials as they are calling them now. And this is also first impressions for me, so I haven't actually got to play with this stuff yet. So let's play with this stuff. Okay, so I can't really look around, but of course it's WASD. Oh boy, it's really quick. Did I knock that down? Oh, that's fun. No sounds yet. Doesn't appear to be. Oh boy. Yeah, one thing I'm hoping for, they get those more advanced graphics options so I can actually tone down the motion blur. I typically find that motion blur tends to hinder games more than it helps games. In fact, I had a comment on my last video that said, what do you do? Record this with a video camera, a camcorder? And that's just how the deluxe hangar looks, and when you combine it with the look at that. When you combine it with the motion blur, it does actually look like you recorded it with a camcorder. So of the hangars that I've seen, I'm actually more impressed with the business hangar. But unfortunately the Constellation is too big to fit in there. So what is this over here? Well, this, my friends, is the Origin 325A. Had my eyes on this for a while, and decided to just, since I'm showcasing the hangar, it's like a good time to show a new ship as well. Now this is the combat variant, so it comes pre-loaded with a mass driver cannon up here, and a couple of pew-pew guns over here, and some missile pods. And this is kind of the middle of the three variants. Well, there's technically four variants, the base 300. The 315P is the exploration variant. And then there's also the 350R, and I was debating which version I wanted, either the 350R or the 325A, and I decided at the time to just skip the 350R because I kind of feel like it's kind of trying to be a role that it maybe wasn't suited for. I kind of see the Origin as kind of a, if you play Privateer, I would see this ship like the Centurion in that game. So it's a little bit too big, I think, to be a good racer. I think that role is better fitted for the M50, the Origin M50. But it's possible that, this might be more straight line speed, whereas the M50 is more of a turning ship. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But ultimately, what my decision boils down to is that I wanted a personal ship for when I didn't feel like flying with the crew in the Constellation, or perhaps when we might needed more ships, so I could have a friend pilot the Constellation, and I could fly escort in the origin. So I've also been avoiding looking at these too much in other people's videos because I did kind of want to experience them for myself. And let's go ahead and hop on board. That is... Alright, that's pretty slick. Now, there we go. I do love the attention to detail that they put into these ships and their animations. So we can see that it's a pretty tight fit in here. Let me go ahead. Can I close that up? Yes, I can. Was that just the... No? Okay. Oh, that opened this one. Okay, I see. They may need to tweak some of these areas to interact with things. Let's go back up. I'm trying to see if I can close these doors from the inside. Now the Origin itself, the 300 series, is kind of meant to be a kind of luxury ship. Let's see if I can... Nope, that's leaving again. I don't want to leave the ship. I just want to close the doors. Let's try this again. Maybe it's because I'm standing too close or something. Maybe that? No. Huh. So, yeah. Who knows? Who really knows? But one thing I can do is maybe walk over here and... So that's just going to let me walk up, isn't it? Yeah, well, okay. Alright, well, fair enough. Now, it will be interesting to see what this thing is like. Yeah, see, I was facing that back door, or, well, wall. And now I'm leaving the ship. So, I think they have just a little bit too big on the interaction context areas. Alright, anyways, let's stop messing with this and take a further look at some of the ship stuffs. It's going to have an engine readout here, and some pretty cool stuff. A warning label here. Warning, this shit can kill or injure personnel. Do not release shit lock handle when cable is disconnected. There's this light assembly indicator, serial numbers, that's all pretty spiffy. Oxygen tanks. Of course, we have the 325A badging there. Now I'm guessing... Okay, so that's all just going to make me go in the seat. Alright, fair enough. Definitely a really cool view from this. I haven't got to sit inside the Hornet, but this does seem to have really good visibility for what it is. Pretty narrow FOV, so it is, well, I don't know, the FOV seems pretty fine to me. It just kind of feels like you're right up in the front of the ship, but I guess that's how it's designed. And once again, if we use the 360 pad, we can mess with this stuff a little bit. It's kind of interesting. I wonder what this little targeting looking thing is in the middle of the steering wheel, because it can't be for targeting because of how low it is. You can't actually see it when you're looking straight out the aircraft. But yeah, that's pretty cool. What do we have here? Gauges. Those will be interesting to see in action. And that's definitely something that will be fun to check out during the Dogfight Alpha. And of course, once again, wonderful animations in the cockpit. So these things right here, I'm guessing these are sleeping areas, maybe, that fold out. I could be wrong. Again, not a lot of space on this ship, but for a dogfighter, it's pretty big. So if you compare it to the Hornet, you know, the Hornet pretty much has a seat, and that's it. It may have a place to stow a duffel bag, but it's really not big at all. Like I said, if you played Privateer, this is very much in the spirit of the Centurion. And the Centurion actually did have a little back area where you could actually sleep on it. Obviously not in Privateer, you couldn't really do that, but it was in the lore. So while it didn't have a lot of space, it had some space. Now, one feature of the ship I actually really do like is that the wings are like gull-wing doors. They actually, oh hey, you know what? I see a handle on that door. Maybe that would actually close it if we aim at the right spot. Of course, once again, these context areas are pretty large, so... Alright, let's try this. Aim right at it. No. Okay. So, maybe that functionality isn't in yet. But, yeah, as I was saying, these doors, they flip up like gull-wing doors, like Mercedes, the old Mercedes. And that's kind of the idea for Origin, is that they are the luxury maker of ships in the Star Citizen universe. And I really kind of wanted that for, you know, my personal fighter. And of course, the 325A has a very slick paint job. And with the lifetime insurance, it's got, that's going to cover everything that's outfitted on the ship. So all of the weapons and everything will stick with the ship, which is a good. Let's hop back in our buggy here. Now, I kind of hope these buggies will be able to use them planet side, as well as maybe for transporting, you know, cargo and things like that, maybe towing it behind it. Kind of designed again for bigger hangars, which I don't really have that big of a hangar. But you know, it's something fun and a good way to support them. Now this is also a new feature. This is the hollow table. And let's see here. How do we use this? Ships, weapons. This is pretty sure. Oh, hey, there we go. There's our ships on the side there. Look at that. And that turns it off. Okay, so I'm not sure how much you can interact with this right now, but this is definitely looks like where you can outfit things. And a nice little sound effect, of course. And there's something else new here as well. It is the lamp. All hail the lamp. Now there's something kind of weird because it's so bright you can't actually see the texture on it. So the lighting might need to be tweaked. But we do have our own deity here, the lamp. Our own little altar of lamp. And that means that we will have smooth sailing. I have heard there are some lighting changes on board some of the ships. Still have the clipping. And let's hop up. Oh yeah, it certainly looks much brighter. Now I'm not sure if I'm a fan of the brighter lighting in here. For one, you can't really tell where it's coming from. And for two, I actually kind of liked the darker look because the brightness kind of bleeds out some of the textures, I believe, or I feel. Doesn't look like we can hop in the toilet yet, or the bathroom. And now, because of the brighter lighting, I noticed in my last video you couldn't actually see the ship, the Merlin, too well. So this should show up much better. And we can actually get a much better look at the ship. And it looks like this time the canopy is actually closed. It looked like it was open before. So yeah, definitely be able to get a much better look at the Merlin. Kind of look at the front there. And yeah, it's when I look at it from this angle, it seems a little bit too bright. Now I hope that the interior lighting is something that we'll be able to change. I kind of like the darker look, actually. Seem to have more of an interesting mood to it. And of course, there's our first-person view. So, let's talk about the new little shop that they've added. Oh, hey, you know what? We've got a interesting view of... These will actually show it much better too, because I noticed they were kind of dark on the video. So that's what the turret looks like inside. A little bit brighter this time. Maybe too bright. Who knows how that'll look actually in space, because typically, you know, with such a dark background, you're going to want a darker lighting inside the ship, I think, so as to not to kind of drown out some of the details in space. What I mean by that is, for example, on submarines, they will use red lighting because it doesn't interfere with your vision so much. I think they use that in other forms too. If you have something too bright, it kind of ruins your night vision essentially. And if you're flying around in space, you kind of need to rely on that. So yes, let's talk about the new little shop that they've added. There's been a lot of backlash over the shop, and I think there might be some good reasons for that. As it stands, the only way to get credits, UEC credits, also known as Imperials, is to use real-life cash. They did give some away, but considering how much the items cost, they weren't really that much. So the logic is that you know, people want to be able to test out the stuff. They want to be able to test out the buggy, drive it around, things like that. And it is, you know, costing them real life money to do that. So I can totally understand that aspect, and I think that maybe they need to consider some kind of test center where people can kind of mess around with things and break things. But at the same time, everything in that store, and this is one of the reasons why I'm actually kind of liking the idea of how they have their store, is that everything's listed for credits. And it's important to know how the credits work, because in certain games, such as Guild Wars 2, even though they do have a really fair cash shop model, you still have to spend gems. And well, what are gems in Guild Wars 2? Gems are the cash shop currency. Whereas in Star Citizen, on that shop, you're using credits, and those credits are the standard credits that you earn in the game. So what that essentially means is that once the game is out and there's a way to earn credits, you can buy every single thing in that shop, which is, it is the cash shop other than the pledges for ships. You can purchase everything in that shop for the money that you've earned in game. And that essentially is what makes it fair to me. And if you want to right now, you know, you have to look at it, and these things are essentially extra little goodies here and there that you can pick up to show your support for the development. And but I will say though that there are certain things that might need to have their prices looked at. For example, crashed into the nacelle there. Okay, so for example, lamp. Lamp is 5,000 UEC. That's a little bit much for a completely static object that just sits there. And the wingman poster, 5,000 UEC. Once again, that's a little bit much just for a static piece of art that's going to sit in your hangar. And the conversion is $1 to 1,000 UEC. Now, while you do start out with some UEC from your package that you pledged, and they did gift everybody about 5,000 UEC, still seems like a little bit much. Now, this particular buggy is 20,000 UEC, and that is, again, probably about twice as much as it probably should be. But, you know, to me it was worth, it was something I wanted to showcase for you guys. And I do feel like supporting these guys. And once again, you can earn this stuff once the game has a way to, you know, earn credits. So it's not something I'm really concerned about. I think it's a pretty fair way of how they handled it. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the matter. So that's pretty much the new stuff. Some lighting changes. They've added the store and little things you can pick up, and the buggy, of course. And yeah, so got the new ship to show off here. And it looks great, in my opinion. And I actually do love that connected wing look on the ship. It's got a great profile. It's got a great everything, really. Look at that. So yeah, I will be uploading this video. I may do some streaming tonight. Don't really know yet. And if you want to help me out, like and favorite this stuff. And I will see you guys in the first.